I'm Michael Liu,
I'm Connor Reed.
and welcome to the Saves Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about NIL deals in college sports for the athletes, and kind of just want to know what's your opinion on that.
I think, personally, we're both athletes. I think both of us would, what's the word I'm looking for?
Benefit,
yeah. We'd benefit from getting paid during sports because you spend 7 days a week working for that team that is you're representing your school, and you always have to pay like debt from student loans and stuff. And I think it would really benefit the athletes to have a little help on their side after spending hard work and playing their games just to help them out. What about you?
I'm kind of on the opposite of that. If I were to see NIL deals in college, something I would kind of look for would be for that money. They can accumulate the 4 years of money, or for some sports, when they go to their sport early, the 2-4 years, whatever they spend in college, they accumulate that money, and then once they leave college and graduate, then that money is released to them. Because you got to look at, not really for hockey, but some of the sports, a lot of the sports, the college freshmen are 18 years old, and they're getting these millions and millions of dollars at 18 years old, and without education or even like maturity level, you get that amount of money, and you're like, what do I do with it? And the financial decisions that come through this money being brought to them, the money's just gone like that. And some of them are smart. I'll give it to that. Some of them are smart, but
I see what you mean there.
I just think 18 is a little young to be getting this money.
Okay, I give you a point for that. I think for players like hockey players, because most of them come from playing juniors, so they're freshmen at 22, 23 years old, and their life's already starting past 18, and I think they should be a little more benefited towards money because you need a little more help with that once you're older, because you can't really have a job as a hockey player because it's 7 days a week, almost all day, then you got school. So I think we should be paid. So the first question we have today is, what impact does NIL deals have on politics? What do you think?
I could see how, from not like a political standard and like as in like the president, I see how a political standard in the sport, coaches use that money to get the better players, and then you're going to see these rosters just stacked because the school has more money.
Then there's weaker schools.
We're both hockey players, right? So we'll take Penn State for an example. Landed Gavin McKenna with a huge NIL deal, getting all these top prospects, paying them money. And then you go to a lower school like RIT, Bowling Green, they don't have the funds to get that amount of money. So when you see these two teams play each other, it's going to be a blowout. And then it's kind of unfair to them, like, hey, we can't get these good players because we don't have the funding. And then it's like, what do you do about that,
So you're saying, like, even not just hockey, with all the other sports.
Oh, yeah. It's
all the other, like, weaker colleges are going to have a little bit of a weakness in the standing game. Like,
because it's kind of like, how do you build your program from there? I mean, I'm not huge on football, Ohio State fan, but Ohio State, they have a load of money. And then there's so many Division I schools, but even these mid-pack Division I schools, their talent that used to be mid, now that they don't have the money, all the mid are going to go to whoever offers them the most money, because, like, why wouldn't you,
Yeah. My opinion is, my view on how the politics has something to do with this is, just like us two, there's people for it and people against it, which is going to cause a little bit of conflict. And some schools are going to be like, should we really be paying our players? I think yes, because college athletes will benefit towards that. So off that topic, our next question is, how does NIL deals impact college athletes? I know most of the athletes are going to be spending their money on student loans, but there's also that other half that will just blow it off in about 2 months. And where's that money going towards if they're just wasting it? What do you think?
Well, yeah, and that view kind of goes into the negative side, because when you see these decisions, eventually they're going to start piling up, and then when they go through their NIL money, they're so used to having that money there that now they're going to be getting in more debt, if they're not responsible enough. And I just see negative impacts. I see positive impacts too. You know, you gotta look at both sides. But when I see the list, in my opinion, I see a lot more negative than there is positive.
Okay.
So it's just something that, you know, you want to eliminate. You want everyone to be positive. You want everything to be good. So for these athletes, especially if they're going to go on to have a career, you know, on in the major leagues, you know, wherever sport they're pursuing, you want them to be set in a good spot, but also
Gotta be responsible.
yeah, exactly. So
I feel that college athletes, like he said, there's multiple negative and positive reasons why they should be having all this money at such a young age, because some kids will know what to do, some kids won't know what to do. But I think this is going to be good, because once you get older and older, you're going to have a little bit of that starting money, and more it'll influence more of those just school-based non-athletes to start playing sports, which might boost up colleges, so there will be more players.
and then like also kind of like building on that from our first view, like from my first viewpoint, holding that money out until they get out of college, because the amenities that they get, like they're fed, they're housed, most of them are on scholarship, so you get this extra money now, you kind of don't know what to spend it on. And I know we keep on going back to it, but 18-year-olds, young kids, stupid decisions, you know, the maturity level. But you go to the athletes that maybe aren't going to go on to be professional athletes, the ones that aren't moving on. You hold that money out until the end of college. They get out of college and they have that starting fund to kind of help build them up, because they're not going to be getting the professional level pay.
Okay.
So now they have a little bit, you know, maybe they need to rethink their career, find out what they want to do. They have that money to last them a little bit, and then they go on to have a career in whatever they want to pursue.
Okay. I see what you mean there. Our final question is that going back to what I said on this might influence more people in colleges to start playing sports. How does this impact non-college players? What do you think how they feel about this?
You know, I would see someone who's going to a college, you know, you're friends with somebody who is receiving that NIL support. And I wouldn't say it would be jealousy, but you get kind of a second viewpoint on them of, man, they're getting this money. Why don't we receive more funding? You know, why is this money not going back into the school? You know, I would understand if the money was going towards the program for the kids, but it's going directly to the players to have for themselves. So you can see someone who's not an athlete being like, you know, maybe they want a better school. Like, they want a better school. Like, they want this money because a sport, right? The team is part of the school. So they want this money to maybe go back into the school to help kind of build up their experience as well. You know, they don't want to see, oh, he plays sports, he gets this money, she plays sports, she gets the money, you know. They want that life to be a little bit better, and they're just like, why is that happening, you know? And I kind of want to see what your viewpoint on that is for the non-college players.
Okay. Well, what you've said in this podcast, it's kind of influencing me on. I feel that non-college players are gonna be a little bit jealous, like what you said, but often it's gonna influence them to start playing sports, because maybe you're not the most athletic kid, but NIL can contribute towards your life after college, because it gets you a little head start. So maybe you want to jump into sports, maybe try a new thing. It's never too late to try something. And I think it's going to influence all the bigger schools to have more of the lower class kids that go to the school try out. Maybe they're going to get some money and help their career in the next days after college. And I think that the lower end schools, like non-sports schools that are meant for like Ivy League schools, they're not really meant to be for sports. It's more for smarts and going for degrees and things. More of that, those schools are going to benefit more with non-college athletes because they're going mainly to that school for education, not really sports, and they're not going to ask for money. And their schools are going to, the lower, smarter schools are going to benefit from not spending money on college athletes.
So it's kind of towards the negative, you know.
You might have swayed my ways then, I guess.
Well, I guess that was the goal.
All right.
Thank you guys for listening, and
thank you for listening.
we'll see you next time on the Sabes.